Sorry. That's awesome.
Dave Asprey of Bulletproof Coffee fame led the match on the biohacking movement, and now they're expanding into an additional 10,000 new stores. After interviewing Dave in 2017, I decided to catch up with the Vice President of Bulletproof to discuss everything from biohacking, nootropics, brain health, peak performance and sleep, and their rapid expansion. Let's dive in right now. Suffering from depression and getting no answers, I packed up my life and went on a 90-day mission to find help from the world's top biohackers, neuroscientists, and doctors. And now I'm here to help you biohack your mind and body for success. Welcome to Becoming Unstoppable. Lifestyle hacks for your body, mind, and business.
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof coffee.
You guys know about Bulletproof Coffee?
It will change your life.
Bulletproof. It's made from unsalted grass-fed butter with an extract of coconut oil that improves brain energy.
For the uninformed, what is biohacking?
Biohacking is nothing more than, controlling what you put in, on, and around your body for better health, right? I think everybody's coming around to nutrition is absolutely the number one thing you can do for your health is really watch what you put in your body, but also what you put on your body and what you have around you has a big impact as well. And I think people are coming around to that.
For those that don't know, what is a nootropic?
A nootropic is a smart drug. It's like a supplement for the brain. There's a $1 billion industry on supplements for the rest of your body, and there hasn't been a lot of supplement or work or information on how to help your brain. So nootropic is just nothing more than something that impacts your brain in a positive way.
Out of Bulletproof's customers, who are kind of the main customers? What are the demographics?
I was surprised when I got here how broad the age range was, and I think it all the way from millennials on up to people 55 plus.
Do you also suspect that the 55 and over plus range is potentially that these individuals are experiencing brain fog? There might be some mental cognition decline?
I think it's two things. I think it's if someone is having those issues, they'll do anything and everything, and they're going to do the research and they're going to figure out what works for them. The other thing is, with the onset of dementia, Alzheimer's, I don't think I know any family that hasn't been impacted. And so I think a lot of it is preventative for people before they get there.
Tell me about the brain octane oil product. What is it? What research is it based on? How can it benefit people?
Yeah. So what people are getting smarter all the time, right? And with things like the blog and the internet, people are doing a ton of research. MCT is probably one of the hottest categories in the store now. So MCT, collagens, nootropics are anything with brain health are really categories that are spiking around the store. And MCTs are one that's going mainstream fairly quick. Before April, there wasn't an MCT area set or products like within a Target. And now they're going to bring it in. They're figuring out what to do. And people know coconut oil. And then people who are a little bit more nutrition forward know, hey, there's 4 different kind of coconut oils, right? There's C6, 8, 10, and 12. And then people who are thrivers, people who are going to read the Bulletproof blog inside and out, know that the C8 version of coconut oil, which is only like 7% of the coconut, so it's not a big part of the coconut oil, that is the most potent part of coconut oil. So we only, like in Brain Octane, it's only C8. Most MCTs are a blend of C8, C10s. There might be some C12 or C6 in there, but C8 is the most potent, and your body converts that to ketones and uses it quicker than any other of the other Cs. So better than C10, certainly better than C6 or C12.
Talk to me about the research department behind Bulletproof. What's that process look like? What are, the benchmarks that you guys have in place?
So a lot of it starts with Dave, right? So Dave started talking about this stuff long before anybody. And so a lot of it was originated from Dave's research and his own biohacking on himself, right? So that's part of it. And then the other part of it, before we take any product to market, there's a long process going through claims, research. It's funny, when we go into a customer and we're setting up so many new customers, a lot of the big customers, say a Costco, Whole Foods, we'll have to go in with a deck this thick with all of our research, with all of our claims, documented. And they do a really good job, customers do these days, of making sure that nothing gets on their shelf unless it's any claims are substantiated and you have plenty of documentation.
Do you believe the explosion in popularity is also potentially linked to the ketogenic diet? I know this week we've seen Weight Watchers have to devalue their company, and one of the individuals from Weight Watchers actually said part of the issue is because the popularity of keto has just exploded. I
think keto is a part of it. So Dave, in Bulletproof, we were one of the early adopters of keto as a tool, and I think that's how we think about it, as a tool for your goals. It's not the be all end all, and if you listen to Dave and you read the blog and all the information, keto, we believe in cyclical keto. To use it as a tool, it's not a 24/7, 365 type tool. So I think people need to watch, how they put keto. And as I walked into a store today, and I was in Dallas, this week and ran about 10 stores, and the amount of products that are coming out with people just slapping keto on there. If you go through the products, some products are okay. If you look at it, some products, I think we would look at and say, I'm not sure I'd be putting that in the body. I think keto is going to evolve. I think we have longevity beyond keto. We're not riding the keto trend. We drove it, and it's part of our toolkit, but it's not the be all and all.
Keto, for some people, it can be hard to maintain.
Absolutely.
The other issue is I'm doing keto currently, but if you do not monitor your blood, you've got absolutely no idea. The ketone strips, I personally think, are pretty much useless because it's just not accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's gonna, it's a powerful tool. You've seen it with people, and people feel it. I think as people get smarter, just like on the brain octane and the CA, people are going to get really, really smart, and I think people will continue to evolve how they use ketosis.
So tell me about the Sleep Mode product.
Sleep Mode is probably one of the first products that I started using on a regular basis, and what I like about it is it doesn't make you groggy in the morning, and that's because, and it seems like with products like melatonin, there's almost a melatonin war out there, right? How many milligrams of melatonin? Everybody's doubling and tripling and quadrupling the melatonin, and there's what you find out is there's a peak in which the melatonin is effective from a dosage standpoint, and then it's really anything more is fairly ineffective. It doesn't do anything except stay in your system, make you groggy the next day. So I think it's the right amount of smart melatonin in there. The other items in there, the L-ornithine, I think is the way you say it, is something that which is smart. So part of the reason people don't fall asleep, and I know that's part of the reason I don't fall asleep, is because my mind is racing about how much bulletproof I have to sell. Yeah. And it doesn't allow you to go to sleep because your mind is racing, and that part of the product calms your mind down and lets you kind of release some of those thoughts and lets you go to bed. So it attacks sleep on a couple different angles, not just, gosh, we want to knock you out with the melatonin.
Because I noticed with the melatonin dosage in this, it's a micro dosage. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Because I know with other products, I have tried a 10 milligram dosage of melatonin when I first came to the US years ago, and I've never felt worse the next day. And in Australia, you can only get a prescription for melatonin. You can't actually buy it from the supplement store because of regulations. And I'll typically only give it to shift workers. I
think it ruins the category. So as we talk to retailers, be careful on how many melatonins and how high of a dosage put out there. Because people will try it. It's like anything. They try it. If it doesn't work, in their mind, they think melatonin doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right, so they don't come back and buy it, and I've got multiple people that I've turned on to Sleep Mode who've used other products that doesn't work for them, and different people react different way. But I've had a lot of positive feedback on Sleep Mode. We have a chart that we use with retailers showing the effectiveness per dose, and this is really the most effective dose to get you to sleep.
A higher dosage of melatonin, it'll put you asleep, but your mental cognition is going to be off.
The next day. And a lot of people, and I know I can't afford that, right? I've got to be making sure I catch my flight the next day and show up to the customer in the right way.
I noticed you've got the brain octane oil also in Sleep Mode. So tell me, because obviously brain octane oil, we hear a lot about of its energy boosting properties, but how does it help on the other side of the equation with sleep?
Your body uses a lot of energy to repair as you sleep. So that's part of it. Make sure your body has the energy to repair itself, and your brain, right? That's a downtime for your brain to repair itself. So that's why that's in there. And you'll see a couple ingredients laced in almost all of our products. Brain octane is one that we try to get in almost all of our products. In our bars, it's in our RTD, it's in our supplements when we can put it in there.
The other product that I take religiously on and off is the charcoal, which I wish I'd known about that earlier. A couple of years ago, I had to do the Candida diet, which has nasty die-off side effects to it. But I mean, the Candida diet is very similar to the keto diet in that it's very limited sugars, no carbs. There's probably less sugars and carbs than the keto diet. But I've found that specifically good if I not overeat, bloating, but also if I find I've eaten something and I'm feeling off the next day, to have some black charcoal to get it out of my system. What are the other benefits that you've seen with the black charcoal for those that don't know about?
Charcoal's exploding. Like, you can get it in toothpaste now. Like, so many people are coming around to the benefits of charcoal. And it's, I think about it as just a cleanser for the body. You start to realize what's in some of the food that you like. like metals in sushi, and you've got a product that can actually help with cleansing some of those things that you're naturally going to get. You can't avoid unless you don't eat. So number one, it's a cleansing. Some people use it from a gas standpoint. Some people use it after a big night out. To cleanse themselves.
And obviously, for those watching this, just to preface it, don't take black charcoal when you're having medications or your other supplements.
Yes.
Because it will absorb absolutely everything. What do you guys say to the skeptics out there? Because obviously there are a lot of skeptics to supplementation. Yep. One of the issues that I found in this journey through the book, I'd become severely depressed. I was suicidal. I was eating an incredibly clean diet. I was tracking it every single day, but I still wasn't meeting my nutritional demands. And obviously that has a lot to do with our food supply, the minerals in the soil. So what would you say to the skeptics out there that say you shouldn't just be taking supplements, you should just eat a balanced diet?
Number one, I think 99% of the people are coming around what you put in your body is probably the number one impact on your health. Number two, I think most people, and I know I'm that way, especially with travel, I usually can't eat everything I need to eat on a daily basis and get all the nutrition I need. So I think probably 99% of the people have some sort of gap in what they can and do eat versus what they should eat. I think it's individual. Like what I love about the bulletproof kind of messaging is do what works for you. And everything's not going to work. Everybody's biology is a little bit different. Everybody, what they can and do eat every day is different. So people are going to have different needs. I think we'd say if you don't need it, don't use it. Everybody's going to be individual. But if there is a gap, why not try to address it? I take the B supplements. I take the 80K. I had a physical 5 years ago, and as I was leaving there, the doctor says, okay, easy things you can do, right? Take a multivitamin, take your Bs, and then D was one that, and Dave said, okay, if there's one thing you go do D, because, you don't get enough D. So I use that for I upgraded from just the D to the 80K.
We actually did one interview with a clinical social worker who had a patient who had been depressed, suicidal for 5 years. She fortunately found out she had minute traces of vitamin D in her system. The suicidal tendencies and depression started disappearing within a week. And
oh, wow.
She continued to get better. Through this experience, when we look at peak performance, a lot of the time we look at the psychology of peak performance, but we never consider the biochemistry that supports that peak performance psychology. Yeah. We tend to just blame one side of the equation. So I couldn't agree more with you in relation to vitamin D. I think more people are deficient than what they realize. Jumping back to L-glutathione. L-glutathione is something that's really kind of popped up on my radar in the last 8 months. Can you talk about the benefits of that?
Dave gave me a prescription going in, and glutathione was one of them. And it's just, another way to cleanse the body. Glutathione is to me, I'm probably exposed to so much, whether it's on airplanes, going through the airports, driving around these cities, going to customers, that helps from a liver cleansing standpoint.
Because I have noticed through tracking with the Oura ring, I have noticed in the past 8 months that if my body temperature is spiking at night, the next day I'll start supplementing with additional glutathione, and if I feel a cold or a flu coming on, I tend to find it lasts less than 24 hours as long as I'm taking out glutathione. Because you talk about traveling, obviously our gut microbiome changes every time we travel because we're introduced to new bacteria. Can you tell me if you guys are coming out with a probiotic supplement?
This is one area that we're very interested in, and when we come up with the right product that we think there's a gap in the marketplace, we'll fill it.
And I think it's also important with the probiotics that we personalize. I've been working with the company Thrive.
Yes.
So you do your gut health test, it gives you the indication of how much bacteria, good, bad, is in your stomach, and then they personalize probiotics to you. And what I found through that experience is you can't just take an off-the-shelf probiotic, because if you have, say for example, lower bacteroids in your system, you're more likely to have depression. If you're taking a probiotic that's mainly lactobacillus and it doesn't have bacteroids in it, then you're just kind of exacerbating the problem to a degree by throwing it further out of whack.
Currently in 10,000 doors. By the end of the year, I estimate we'll be in 20,000 doors. The downloads on Dave's podcast was 1.3 million. It's up to 2 million downloads a month now.